Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. So, in this video, I would like to share with you about a voice and voiceless. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Hilda Octavia, and then my partner.
My name is Devina Sasabela Putri.
So, come on, let's get started.
Hello, friends. Today we are going to learn about voiceless and voiced consonant. Let's learn how to distinguish between a voiced and a voiceless consonant. Place your fingers in the far middle part of your neck. Now say z as in the word zoo. Now let's make it longer. Z. You should feel a vibration in your vocal cords. This is how you know that the S sound. Now, let's try this with the S sounds word sets. Say S. Oh, let's prolong it. S. This time, there was no vibration in your vocal cords. That's all there is to it. The tongue and lip position of the zoo and the in the z, it's only difference between them. Vibration or no vibration. Vowel line, voice and voiceless consonant. Vowels are longer when followed by a voiced consonant and shorter when followed by voiceless consonant. Even short vowels like e, e, and p are prolonged when followed by a voiced consonant. For example, a followed by a voiced consonant sound like a is an big. Warning: common mistake when like a vowel. Make sure that you not change the sound of the vowel. When you say it, make sure that it doesn't sound like kid. Voiceless and voiced consonant. Word pairs for practice. The first word of the pair ends with the voiceless consonant and the second with the voiced one. Notice the difference in vowel line. Z, z. Advice, advice. Ice, eyes. Knees, knees. Made, made. Head, head. Bed, bed. Health, have. Life, life. Believe, believe. Back, back. Talk, talk. Dog, dog. Consonant pairs. As for difference, there are consonant pairs, so some consonant pairs are called voice and voiceless. You can see in the table, so there are p and p. P is voice and p is voiceless. Example, back, above, p is pencil and drop. To is T, need is to and wait. K, k, example cold, rock, candy, wake. F, f, very, give, fine, before. The and the, example the, this, thin, with. The and the song has. See, city. She and she. Measure and big seed dish. Ch, ch. Change and enjoy. Change and reach. Other example of consonant um, ung, O, R.
The English alphabet has vowels and consonants. A, E, I, O, U are vowels. The rest of the alphabet letters are consonants. However, there is this exception of letter Y. This can act as a consonant and the vowels. Vowels. A vowel is a sound that is made when air flows out the mouth without being blocked by any part of the mouth or throat. Whereas a consonant is a sound that is made when air is partially blocked by part of the mouth or throat. Every word in English has at least one vowel. Let's have a look at some example. Hat. Here we can see the letter H is a consonant, A is a vowel, and the letter T is a consonant. Bed. Again, the letter B is a consonant, E is a vowel, and the letter T is a consonant. Pig. P is a consonant, I is a vowel, G is a consonant. Hot. H is a consonant, O is a vowel, and the letter T is a consonant. Sant. S is a consonant, U is a vowel, N is consonant. Road. The letter R is a consonant, O and A, of course, vowels, and the letter D is consonant. Now let's see how the letter Y can act as a vowel and a consonant. Let's start with the vowels. For example, sky. Here, the letter Y makes sense I sounds. The letter I is a vowel. Therefore, in this example, the letter Y is considered to be a vowel. It's important to remember that the letter Y is a vowel when there are no other vowels in the word. So as we can see here, the letter S is a consonant, the letter K is a consonant, and the letter Y is a vowel. There are no other vowels in the word. Another example is try. Again, the letter Y makes sense I sounds, therefore is considered to be a vowel. Angry. Here, the letter Y makes sense E sounds. The letter E is a vowel. Therefore, in this example, the letter Y is considered to be a vowel. The letter Y is considered to be a consonant when it's come at the beginning of the word and make the yeah sounds. For example, yellow, you, and yelp. So, I will explain more about the consonant. The English consonants go over their productions as well as their transcriptions. So the first things we're gonna talk about is the place of articulation, and it is going to be very brief slide because we'll go over the plans individually for each of sounds we cover, but just to give you a general idea what is the terms mean and what is look like in your mouth. The first term is bilabial. Now I really wanna break up the word into what they mean to have a better intuitive understanding. So bilabial literally just mean two lips. So there's words B sounds made with your two lips. So these labial dental sounds will be when your lower lips is touching to your top tooth, as in something like as a view or in very. You have your lower lips touching your top teeth. Interdental, well, interdental inter means between, and dental means teeth. So this between teeth. So when I talk about the word thought, alveolar talks about something called the alveolar ridge, and I'm gonna circle this on diagram in the red. So this is little heart brown right behind your teeth. So if you put your tongue behind your teeth and just push it backwards till you start to tip upwards, it's that's little heart ridge right before the upward tip, and then that's your alveolar ridge. So there is sounds made there, and your might feel and more if you make a sound like tooth and thought and tooth. Your tongue is touching your alveolar ridge when you make the word tooth or zoom. Alveolar is made just a little bit behind the ridge, and I'm going to erase the sickle here, and the overval would be a little bit behind it, so on, then dip. So I sound like a sh as in ship. If you feel us and a sh, us and a sh, you can feel there's a difference in how forward you are. S as in sip is on the alveolar ridge, while sh as in ship is a little bit behind. If palatal sounds, there's only one sound in the English that's used the palatal. That would be there. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to feel, but essentially the palatal sounds would be kind of a little bit through the back from the alveolar is where your villain is. So I will circle this one in purple. So this is where you make sound k like king, or g as in go, and vanilla glottal is made all the way in the vocal folds. So in the word like help, that's H, and help is glottal sounds. But what's really more important when learning sounds are manner of the articulation. So every sound has a plans and the manner and the voice. So manners are the different types of sounds, and this is what the airflow is essentially doing. So for a sentence with stop, airflow in the oral cavity is stopped, and just to take a look at this, the oral cavity, this means somewhere when air is trying to escape out of your mouth, it is held at some point and then it can't escape. So for instance, put and p is in pill and a bill. Okay, these are Bailey Bill sounds. So here the airflow is stop reach behind your tooth from lips. P and b, and then it's released, and then make the put and p sounds with duck and duck. The T and the D, there's are your alveolar sounds. So this is airflow is held right behind the alveolar ridge. Top and talk. That's really sense, and talk and talk. K and g, it is king and go. These are your velar stop. So airflow being held right behind the villain and the religious king. Go. And the last one is called the glottal stop, and this one is very hard to hear, but in the word like oh, oh, it's in between the and O, O. It's kinds of sound like nothing. Another word in your dialect isn't true for all speakers of English, but in the word like kit and you might have the glottal stop here. Some people say kitten, some people say kitten, and other people say kit with the glottal stop. Now it's important to note to hear with the PBT, DKG, yeah, these are all the same letter that we use our spelling. But when we are writing the symbol for this is symbol, it's glottal stop symbol. If you make any alterations to it, maybe a different sounds to make sure you're writing them exactly as they are. But okay, there's all stop in English. There's all the oral stop, the stop to go through the oral cavity, and all kind of the have the similar quality where air is kept behind the part of your mouth, and then that's relish pop. Then it's relish pa pa ka ka ta ta a. You can definitely feel there's a similar quality between all of these sounds. Now, fricative aren't stopped, so airflow is continuous but it's turbulent. So, for instance, the will and a very airflow can get out of your mouth continuously, but it's very, very tight. There's a very small space where air can go. So, will and very, these are labial dentals. So, this means that your bottom lip and your top tooth are made in the sounds production. Feel very in six and zoo. So since and this these are alveolar fricative. So this is the same plants as your T in your deep. So talk, dog, sick, zoo. They're all made in the same spot. Now we're going to go into the same symbol that you might not have, since the first one is a sh for the sound sh, like in ship. So this corresponds to the in our the letter sound sh, ship, and the other symbol age will be a j. This is the counterpart is with some vocal vibration. J. So measure, and these are alveolopalatal, meaning these are just made behind the alveolar ridge. So s, sh, s, and sh, z, and j, z, and j. You can hear difference between, and you can feel difference. Think and though we covered this in the last video, but once again, these are interdentals, so these are in between your teeth, your tongue, your goes in between your teeth to make them, and this correspond to teeth sounds and think and though. So there's our difference. Think is voiceless; it doesn't have any vibration in your throat, but though is voiced. It has some vibration in your vocal folds. The last fricative is the H and high, and this is a glottal fricative. So the glottal stop in o, and the glottal fricative is in high. So these are fricative. Turbulent airflow, meaning there is very, very, very narrow passage that air can continuously flow through. Sh, z, s, z. You can feel that very tight consonant. There's also pretty noisy sounds. Affricates are a combination of the stop and the fricative. Their color articulates so that word just mean their word chord at the same times, and usually with the affricative, the two sounds have to be very close together. English has four. We have ch as in chip. We have Joe as in jump. So if we think about the sh, so those are so simple for two sh, but we're doing them at the same time. So in terms of the sh, we're doing together ch, ch, and then we put the tie bar around the single that at the same times, similar with the and the z, instead of doing the z and the z, it's doing sometimes z, z. The other two we have in English arts and it's as in gets and leads. Now there's are affricates and they only occur and ends of words in English, but you can tell about just how quick they're pronounced of each other. Compare, say, KS in a word like leaks. This is not an affricate. It is not an affricate leaks, but some delay between the curse couples with it's needed. So we have that affricate this, this. So nasals are stopped. However, instead of the airflow being released from your oral cavity out of your mouth, air is just continuously directed up through the nasal cavity. So, as in mat, or as in nice, or often as in seeing, airflow is being stopped in your mouth, but the air is actually going through the nose to escape. So these are nasals. Why? Because they go through your nose, so there's nasals. And there are only three in English. Sometimes, depending on the word you may have. That's the three variants or the four variants that look like So it's hard to hear difference between but this word the symbol your word used before say label dentils like F or V. So like symphony, it will be your there. But we won't necessarily focus on that. That's more of the advance for logical things. So the minute match in your bilabial. Nasal stop, the will be your alveolar nasal stop, and then will be your velar nasal stop. So this is the simple plants that cut the ga, ga, You can feel the same spot. So these are nasals related to the nasal cavity. The last consonant we're gonna talk about, the last consonant type are liquid. And this has continued airflow, but there's no turbulence. So a word like light, compare that to light. There's way more airflow to decide the tongues to make light. And this of course is L sounds. There's another type of L we have in English that we usually don't introduce into phonology, but I wanna introduce it to you because you will feel a difference for sure. and that's in the word feel. So in this case, you only light is alveolar, so you can feel it can resemblance as light or light, and feel very simple similar, but in the feel you still have that alveolus part to it. Feel, but the back of your tongue is curling up a little bit. Well, I shouldn't say curling, is moving up a little bit. So this is what is called a velar as I. So feel and light. And depending on the position in the word, you will either have the L as in light or the L as in feel. This is a typical called light L, and a light and a feel. This is called the dark L. So the at end of the word we get the dark out, and the beginning in the middle of word we get the light L. Finally, the last liquid is ripe. That's the R sounds in the English. That the symbol is an upside down R, a rap, a ripe, and this is an alveolar. So we need slightly more the terminology to the string between L and R, because they're both alveolar liquid. So R is called an alveolar rhotic liquid, while the O in the light is considered an alveolar lateral liquid. So lateral meaning and air is going through the side of the tongue, and in the rhotic it's kind of just describe the tongue curling. So rah. There's quite a few steps to make the RR sounds in a more difficult phonetics course. Listen to these sounds and the words that begin with the sound. The first sound in each word is made exactly the same way, except one is voiceless and the other is the voiced. Put your hand on your throat and repeat the sound and the words after you hear them. 1. The voiceless p, pet. The voiced sound b, bat. 2. The voiceless f, few. The voiced v, view. 3. The voiceless th, there. The voiced sound th, there. 4. The voiceless s, zoo. The voiced sound z, zoo. 5. The voiceless ch, chalk. The voiced ch, chalk. 6. K. The voiceless k, cup. The voiced g, cabin. 7. The voiceless th, think. The voiced th, this. 1. Jane's chain is in her backpack. 2. There is a vine glowing on the gate's gate. 3. The list of things to do isn't Zach Sack.
Okay, everyone. I think that's all about voice and voiceless. I'm sorry if there are any mistake, and thanks for watching.